Hello, welcome to my channel, Food for HNM. I'm your host, Jimmy Chen, a Jimmy Chen. This is a channel where we discuss all things Holy Bible. We are reading Judges 9. This next section is titled Abimelek. Okay, Abimelek, son of Jerubbaal, or Jerubbaal, so this is Gideon's son, went to his mother's brothers in Shechem, and said to them and to all his mother's clan, ask all the citizens of Shechem, which is better for you, to have all 70 of Jerubaal's sons rule over you, or just one man. Remember, I am your flesh and blood. When the brothers repeated all this to the citizens of Shechem, they were inclined to follow Abimelek, for they said, he is related to us. They gave him 70 shekels of silver from the temple of Baal Berith, and Abimelek used it to hire reckless scoundrels who became his followers. He went to his father's home in Ophrah, and on one stone murdered his 70 brothers. The sons of Jerubbaal, or Jerubbaal, that again is Gideon, but Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, or Jerubbaal, escaped by hiding. Then all the citizens of Shechem and Beth Milo, or Milo, gathered beside the great tree at the pillar in Shechem to crown Abimelek king. When Jotham was told about this, he climbed up on the top of Mount Gerizim and shouted to them, listen to me, citizens of Shechem, so that God may listen to you. One day, the trees went out to anoint a king for themselves. They said to the olive tree, be our king. But the olive tree answered, should I give up my oil by which both gods and humans are honored to hold sway over the trees? Next, the trees said to the fig tree, come and be our king. So it's a story about trees trying to pick a king. So the olive tree said, nope. And but the fig tree replied, should I give up my fruit, so good and sweet, to hold sway over the trees? So the fig tree also said, nope. Then the trees said to the vine, come and be our king. But the vine. So it's a grapevine, probably. The vine answered, should I give up my wine, which cheers both gods and humans, to hold sway over the trees? Finally, all the trees said to the thorn bush, come and be our king. See, the thorn bush is terrible. It's just it's a bush. It's not a tree, and it's got thorns on it. So I don't know if many of you have done any kind of hiking, or if you've been in the wild, like where plants are just everywhere. If there are plants with thorns, they are very, they are very bothersome. They'll just poke you, and they'll like snag your clothes. And sometimes they have like some of these other types of plants. They have these. They're not quite seeds, but they're like seeds, and they're all pokey too, and they can be in your clothes. You have to pick them off one by one. These are the kind of plants that a thorn bush is like. So the thorn bush said to the trees, "If you really want to anoint me king over you, come and take refuge in my shade. But if not, then let fire come out of the thorn bush and consume the cedars of Lebanon. Have you acted honorably and in good faith by making Abimelek king? Have you been fair to Jerubbaal or Jerubbaal and his family? Have you treated him as he deserves? Remember that my father fought for you and risked his life to rescue you from the hand of Midian. But today you have revolted against my father's family. You have murdered his 70 sons on a single stone, and have made Abimelek, the son of his female slave, it was a son of his concubine, king over the citizens of Shechem, because he is related to you. So have you acted honorably and in good faith toward Jerubbaal or Jerubbaal and his family today? If you have, may Abimelek be your joy, and may you be his too. But if you have not, let fire come out from Abimelek and consume you, the citizens of Shechem and Beth Millo, and let fire come out from you, the citizens of Shechem and Beth Millo, and consume Abimelek. Then Jotham fled, escaping to Beer, and he lived there because he was afraid of his brother Abimelek. After Abimelek had governed Israel 3 years, God, that's the Creator, the Lord, stirred up animosity between Abimelek and the citizens of Shechem, so that they acted treacherously against Abimelek. God did this in order that the crime against Jerubbaal's or Jerubbaal's 70 sons, the shedding of their blood, might be avenged on their brother Abimelek and on the citizens of Shechem, who had helped him murder his brothers. In opposition to him, these citizens of Shechem set men on the hilltops to ambush and rob everyone who passed by, and this was reported to Abimelek. Now Gaal, son of Ebed, moved with his clan into Shechem, and its citizens put their confidence in him. After they had gone out into the fields and gathered the grapes and trodden them, they held a festival in the temple of their God. While they were eating and drinking, they cursed Abimelek. Then Gaal, son of Ebed, said, "Who is Abimelek, and why should we Shechemites be subject to him? Isn't he Jerubbaal's son, or Jerubbaal's son? And isn't Zebul his deputy? Serve the family of Hamor, Shechem's father. Why should we serve Abimelek? If only this people were under my command, then I would get rid of him. I would say to Abimelek, call out your whole army." When Zebul, the governor of the city, heard what Gaal, son of Ebed, said, he was very angry. Under cover, he sent messengers to Abimelek, saying, "Gaal, son of Ebed, and his clan have come to Shechem and are stirring up the city against you. Now then, during the night, you and your men should come and lie in wait in the fields. In the morning at sunrise, advance against the city. When Gaal and his men come out against you, seize the opportunity to attack them. So Abimelek and all his troops set out by night and took up concealed positions near Shechem in 4 companies. Companies. So it's like 4, 4. Take an army and you just split it into 4. Now, Gaal, son of Ebed, had gone out and was standing at the entrance of the city gate, just as Abimelek and his troops came out from their hiding place. When Gaal saw them, he said to Zebul, "Look, people are coming down from the tops of the mountains." Zebul replied, "You mistake the shadows of the mountains for men." But Gaal spoke up again. "Look, people are coming down from the central hill, and a company is coming from the direction of the diviner's tree." Then Zebul said to him, "Where is your big talk? Now, you who said, 'Who is Abimelek that we should be subject to him?' Aren't these men you ridiculed? Go out and fight them." So Gaal led out the citizens of Shechem and fought Abimelek. Abimelek chased him all the way to the entrance of the gate, and many were killed as they fled. Then Abimelek stayed in Arumah, and Zebul drove Gaal and his clan out of Shechem. The next day, the people of Shechem went out to the fields, and this was reported to Abimelek. So he took his men, divided them into 3 companies, and set an ambush in the fields. When he saw the people coming out of the city, he rose to attack them. Abimelek and the companies with him rushed forward to a position at the entrance of the city gate. Then 2 companies attacked those in the fields and struck them down. On that day, Abimelek pressed his attack against the city until he had captured it and killed its people. Then he destroyed the city and scattered salt over it. On hearing this, the citizens in the tower of Shechem went into the stronghold of the temple of El-Berith. When Abimelek heard that they had assembled there, he and all his men went up Mount Zaimon. He took an axe and cut off some branches, which he lifted to his shoulders. He ordered the men with him, "Quick, do what you have seen me do." So all the men cut branches and followed Abimelek. They piled them against the stronghold, and set it on fire with the people still inside. So all the people in the tower of Shechem, about 1,000 men and women, also died. Next, Abimelek went to Thebez and besieged it and captured it. Inside the city, however, was a strong tower, to which all the men and women, all the people of the city, had fled. They had locked themselves in and climbed up the tower roof. Abimelek went to the tower and attacked it. But as he approached the entrance to the tower to set it on fire, a woman dropped an upper millstone on his head and cracked his skull. Hurriedly he called to his armor bearer, draw your sword and kill me so that they can't say a woman killed him. So his servant ran him through, and he died. When the Israelites saw that Abimelek was dead, they went home. Thus, God repaid the wickedness that Abimelek had done to his father by murdering his 70 brothers. God also made the people of Shechem pay for all their wickedness. The curse of Jotham, son of Jerubbaal, came on them. So, you may have watched the movies where there's a bad guy, and at the end of the movie, something bad happens to him. So, we can see that, some people say that there is justice, but some people say there is no justice. But from these stories, we can see that God, the Creator, He creates things, and then His name before was El, that is God. He was El Shaddai. He is a mighty God. Then He's the Lord. He is like the boss, but also a commander, a military commander. But the Lord is, you have to watch it. Just the earlier video. He does many things. He will free you when you are almost in slavery, and He will lead you and feed you and teach you and discipline you. He'll give you rules and laws. He'll instill in you principles. He will make you march, exercise, go jog fatso, and then, they're walking around in the desert. It's like a sauna, hit the sauna or the jacuzzi, and he organized them. Not only did He send Moses to be their leader, Moses worked with the Lord. He taught them how to organize themselves into tribes, and then they would have tribal leaders, and they had other guys called elders, and then they had a military, But most importantly, they had a tabernacle. So He gave them some work to do, build me a tabernacle. And He gave them priests and high priests and a sacrificial system, a way to make up for their sin, the things they do wrong. And they had a lot of animals. You may not agree with me, but they plundered them from Egypt. He's a military commander. He's I'm going to free you and for your trouble, because Egypt, they're a bunch of sun peas, they're mean. We'll just get them to, because He punished them with these plagues, and then get them all weak, and then you can just plunder, take their animals, their herds and their flocks, and their buck chickens. Oh wait, they left the buck chickens behind. Take some of their clothes, and perhaps I don't know, some things, some items. Let's say I lived in France for a while. I lived in France for a while, but I'm Chinese, and I lived there for a couple generations. I would have some French things, So when He he freed them from Egypt. They had some cool stuff, from Egypt. So the Lord he's not just the boss and the military commander. He's very intelligent, and he'll guide the people, and teach them all kinds of things, do all kinds of good things for them. But he is also like Judges, Remember, if you watch the earlier videos, Judges were super guys, but they're like the leaders, like a president. But they also settled legal cases for people. So you have to remember, the Lord is also like the super judge, the holy, omnipotent. There's a name for it, the true judge, the Hadayan Ha'emet. Let me see if that's right. Sometimes I reverse the order of the words. Emet is truth in Hebrew. The Hebrew Dayan Ha'emet. Yeah, he is the Dayan, the Baruch, Dayan Ha'emet. It means blessed is the true judge. He is justice. So we can see here that he judged, Abimelek. So in case you didn't catch all that, remember the Judges, he's also, like a judge. He is called the true judge, who you can't bribe. And, how could you bribe him, God is the creator. He doesn't want your money, and I heard that Jesus, the Lord, he just does not lie, And his judgments are perfectly just, perfectly fair, perfect in every way, Thank you for listening. Keep God first. He'll take you places.